Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are now joined by Miss Jenny Lockhart, who is the anchor for the real estate news here on WHHI-TV. Jenny, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So, everyone's seen it, but for anyone who hasn't,
yes, right?
Tell us a little bit about the newscast that you do for the station.
Sure. So the real estate news obviously is what it sounds like. It's a news show, 30-minute news show devoted directly to local real estate. Now we do in the headline portion sometimes cover national stories or regional stories, but the guests on the show are always local.
And that's a good thing you mentioned the headlines, because it really is a resource for people to get weekly
absolutely updates on the market.
Purely real estate headlines.
It is, and we do, and I like to focus on all aspects of real estate. So sometimes there's information, financing related or insurance related, and then also just general market overviews of what's happening.
Yeah, and then after the headlines, of course, we have
our interviews.
Talk about property.
Yeah, and I love we have such a fantastic mix of realtors and guests on the show. And there's always such variety with their listings. It's just fun. Every week I never know what's going to happen and what they're going to share with us.
And it's Beaufort, Bluffton,
yes,
it's our whole
Hilton
area.
Head. Yeah, absolutely.
So Jenny, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I grew up on Hilton Head, so I've lived here, it feels like forever. And I've had a career in sales-oriented career, and then I spent a long time in the mortgage business, nearly 10 years in the mortgage business. So I feel like I have a very good understanding of the real estate industry. And it's fun to reconnect with that part of my career, since now now I have my own business and I'm not in that industry as much anymore. So
yeah, I mean that background's very important for the knowledge to be able to
talk
to these guys.
Yeah, it is, and to have an understanding. Like we had a guest on this past week talking about some of the regulations that they've changed for financing from Fannie and Freddie, and so obviously from my background I understand the deep impact that's going to have in creating more sales for us, especially locally.
Real estate, I mean the question sounds obvious because real estate is such a big thing
Sure.
here, but why is it important to have a local newscast in this area specifically about real estate?
Well, I think for us in particular, this is a huge part of our economy. I mean, real estate is a big industry here. And then also, this is something that's local, but because of YouTube and because a lot of our guests share these on, email blasts or on their website, if you're someone that lives out of town and you have an interest in here real estate-wise, you can keep up to date via the internet. And then if you're local and you're a part of the industry, or you just are interested, or you're coming to that time in your life where you need to have a transaction, you've got a resource for qualified professionals and get an idea of what's happening in the market and what the best thing to do is.
Yeah, and that's a great point because the people that come on the show, I mean, this isn't...
Oh, these are experts.
They're
these are the
full-time
top
realtors.
People in the real estate industry.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because they're credible, and,
Yes.
and obviously we don't just put anybody on.
No.
And they're they have the means to be a part of the show, which means they've done some good things.
They're successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and a lot of these, a lot of the people are people that I worked with when I was in the financing side of the business. They are people that consistently had sales, even through the recession. These are people that were working and having success in real estate. So those are the people you want to talk to.
Right.
And don't you think it's kind of cool that the shows that we have on WHHI-TV kind of cross-reference each other? We had Money Matters on early on, and and then of course your show. I just think that there's a lot of kind of cross-pollination, and it's good. It's all good information, and it kind of keeps growing.
And
it gives people a really big, broad perspective of what's going on.
Well, and I think too, the other thing that I think is nice is that a lot of it, we're fortunate in this area that we've got a lot of positive news to report.
We do.
Our area is growing, the real estate market is strong. Everyone that's been in on the show the last month or two has had a phenomenal fall and is anticipating a really strong spring in 2015.
Right.
So it's nice to share that information and to keep people informed that this is a booming industry for us.
Yeah.
So
good news
and
is
there's
good news.
so many realtors.
Yes.
So in my opinion, a good takeaway from this show is you get a chance to kind of almost interview these guys.
Absolutely.
You find one you like.
Yeah.
Like David Carroll's a little
Right,
wacky
he's got his
sometimes.
own kind of brand of personality versus Andy Twisdale or some of our other guests. And so you kind of already know who you're going to resonate with. It gives you that leg up when you are looking like, okay, who do I want to work with? Which the person I feel a kind of connection to.
And I think they also all offer their own little piece of Hilton Head or the Low Country because they've been here so long. They're seeing different things. They've experienced different things, and then they bring it all together, and you can pull that all together and present it. And I think that's that's a great way to go.
Well, it is a pleasure to do. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Sitting in the
I
guest
know.
chair
I like
for
this
once.
side. This is
Yeah, we
fun.
like you there.
I'm glad I could answer all the
We like
questions.
you there, Jenny.
It's
Come
a lot
back.
easier to ask them.
That's right. Come back. Come back.
Anytime.
Well,
Thank you.
Be sure you check out our TV listings for the real estate news and come back for more Talk of the Town.